Honorable members, Madam Speaker.
Prayer. Almighty God, we invoke the prudential goodness of parties of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and just community humanity. We beseech you to look upon with abundant favor these your servants, who may be in a place called performance such important trust in this land. Let your blessing descend upon me assembled, and granted me as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that are commanded deliberation, is so just and spell manner to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the good of those interests you have committed to your church.
Item 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I want to welcome the members that are in, that have the discipline of keeping time. Once you have the discipline of keeping time, you can even go to heaven. You can get everything in life. You can get everything you want in life. Time is a very important aspect in life. During this sitting today, we will receive what the ministers undertook yesterday. It's unfortunate that the ministers are not here. The Minister of State for Foreign Affairs had undertaken to lay the treaties on table. He's not here. The Minister of Gender, Labor and Social Development, Sarah, Honorable Sarah, is also not here. Honorable Mateke Sarah, not Opendi, not Muchala Tikins. Honorable members, I am aware that students have gotten holidays and pupils have gotten holidays. In order for us to protect the foundation of our family values, I want to urge parents out there to actively shape the behavior, character, and aspiration of these children by doing effective parenting. I know most of the time the children are at school and the teachers do the parenting. Now the children are back home. The parents should take responsibility and make sure better parenting is done to avoid these issues of drugs, the issues of homosexuality, that kind of thing that is in society. And as we prepare for children to go back to school, I also want to urge executive to strengthen on the issue of regulation on school fees. We've talked about issues of school fees in this house because there are schools that are exploiting parents. We need the regulations in this house, government. We need the regulations so that our parents are not exploited. We need to harmonize the issue of the school fees. How can we be funding government schools and they're the ones charging the highest amount of money? Honorable members, last week we witnessed a spike in the pump, in the fuel pumps. Fuel has gone to, I'm told it is how much? That is so high. We need an explanation from executive on how they are planning to address this issue. Because you know what is in the economy, we don't have the money. So we need to see how to handle this. Honorable members, yesterday I referred to the Committee on Tourism, Trade and Industry, an inquiry on alleged financial solicitation involving cooperatives. I have noted the press reported very wrong things. And I expect when you're there that you're really listening what is being said. I am so disappointed you write what you think, not what you hear. The institution being investigated is Ministry of Trade. And the issue being investigated upon is issues of cooperatives. Cooperatives belong to the Committee of Trade. We are not investigating the Committee of Trade. It's just a 1+1. Why do you report what you think you want to report? Report what you hear and what is being said. Don't report anything just because you feel that you want to say that we're investigating our Committee of Trade. We are investigating the Ministry of Trade on issues of cooperatives. And the committee that is doing that is a Committee of Trade. Honorable members, you recall on 27th July 2023, we passed a resolution regarding the utilization of monies, the 1 billion shillings, which was earmarked for each local government. 1 billion. The resolution replaced the resolution that was passed by this House, replaced the resolution, replaced the guidelines that were brought by WACS. But it has come to my knowledge that most local governments are refusing to implement the resolution of this House, that they had already put money in using the guidelines that were previously passed. I wonder who passed those guidelines previously. Much as they were passed by cabinet, they had to come to the House. And I want to warn the accounting officers out there, the local governments, that if we find anybody using that money, implementing the use of that money, using the guidelines that were issued by WACS, we'll take an action. The guidelines that were passed by this House, the guidelines that were passed by this House are the ones that should be used, and they're final. The money must go to the local government, directly to the local government. Members, I want to thank you once more for coming. And I want to remind you, I want to remind the members of Parliament that we mark whoever is in the House. And the Honorable Professor, I want a list of all the chairpersons and vice chairpersons who don't attend the House. Have you heard? Thank you. Yes, there's a procedural matter.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you for your timely communication to the August House this afternoon. But Right Honorable Speaker, call it a notch in this Parliament where you keep time. You keep time. The moment the clock's 2 o'clock, Right Honorable Speaker, you are in the House. Sometimes 1:59. I want to thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for that spirit of timekeeping. However, Right Honorable Speaker, with the exception of the Government Chief Whip, Honorable Bahati, and the Minister of Finance here, the other ministers have permanently, stubbornly refused to keep. They are perennial latecomers, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, we have 80 ministers.
Are they
80
late
ministers.
comers or they never come?
They sometimes some of them never come at all, Right Honorable Speaker. 81 ministers, Right Honorable Speaker. They are making the work of the
There's
government
information
different.
here.
I take information since it is Bujiri. That was on a lighter note.
Thank you very much, MP Bukoli Central in the Bujiri district. The information I want to give is that on top of it, they're not coming or coming late, when they appear, Right Honorable Speaker, and they are done with their business, they just walk out. That's the information I wanted to give.
Thank you, Honorable Ashman. Right Honorable Speaker, it has just become, I think the ministers just sit and agree and say that we shall not go to Parliament. It is time we took decisions that are hard. The work of the government chief whip is becoming very difficult. You find the government chief whip in the corridors, making calls, trying to tell the Honorable you're supposed to be in the house. But the order paper is laid way before we start the house. Right Honorable Speaker, you have raised a very pertinent matter on the issue of school fees. The Minister of Education is supposed to be here. I'm coming. The procedural matter, therefore, Right Honorable Speaker, that I'm raising, because the Minister of Education has a matter, you have raised issues of school fees, you have raised issues in works. These are all ministers who are supposed to respond. Right Honorable Speaker, is it therefore procedurally right for us to continue proceeding with the Parliament when ministers are perennial absent and they never come to this house? Wouldn't it be procedurally right for us to take a decision at this momentous epoch to invoke our power in the Parliament and to stand for the Ugandans, Right Honorable Speaker?
Government Chief Whip, can we hear from you? You're the one supposed to whip all your ministers. I don't know whether they know that we sit on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, first of all, we are all aware that yesterday when the House sat, we had a reasonable number of ministers. That is a fact. I also want to state on record that as cabinet, we have set what I would call our minimum standards. One, we have agreed that at every sitting of Parliament, at least 30% of ministers should be represented. At least the ministry should be represented. We have gone ahead to even lay on the floor of Parliament, Right Honorable Speaker, the rota for every ministry from Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. My office makes calls. Even today, I can confirm from the Minister of Education and Sports, Honorable Gwang and Honorable Dr. Miyingo, confirmed. From the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Honorable John Mulimba, confirmed. And the list is long. So I believe, Right Honorable Speaker, this House is run by rules. This House is run by rules. I would suggest that in the circumstances, just like in the field of sports, you are given a verbal warning, you commit another foul, a yellow card, you commit the third foul, you are red carded. This House is a house that works on rules. So let's invoke the rules, and we have all members, whether a member of Parliament or a member of Cabinet, to attend parliamentary sittings. I beg to submit.
Thank you. Honorable Government Chief Whip, can I have a list of members, the ministers who are supposed to have attended a Wednesday sitting? I need that list. Honorable Honorable Minister of Education, we want the regulations on school fees. Schools are going to start, and most of the government schools, including the private schools, are charging very high fees, disadvantaging our parents. And most students cannot even go to school because of the exploitation that the schools are doing. Can we have the regulations on the floor tomorrow? Because we've been speaking about the regulations, can we have them tomorrow?
Madam Speaker, before my good friend, the Honorable Peter Ogwang comes to make a response, I'm sure he's in the know of the Education Act, Section 3 and Section 57. They give you all the latitude to regulate school fees, but you are limited to only government-aided schools. We are talking about the ever skyrocketing tuition fees, but the culprit here majorly are the privately owned schools. Yes.
Honorable Nambeshe, it's just unfortunate that you don't have a school. Some of us who have schools.
I have about
The schools that charge high prices, high school fees, are government schools that we even appropriate money for.
Speaker, you are accurately right, both of them. But I'm wondering about the errand, because you have issued the warnings I have been following. But the errand school proprietors, including those that manage government schools, have ignored all these warnings. What are you going to rely on, especially for private proprietors?
There is a procedure matter.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you for raising the issue of the school fees. Right Honorable Speaker, it is over a year, 1.5 years, since I presented a motion on school fees. And it was before the Committee on Education. We don't know what is happening. They brought a report here, which the House rejected. So what is happening in this Committee on Education? So, Right Honorable Speaker, would it not be procedural right for you to direct the committee, which is charged with the responsibility on doing work on behalf of this House, that is the Committee on Education, to conclude that motion so that we can effectively discuss and come up with resolutions to support government in doing its work? Because the regulations alone were issued saying school fees should not be charged beyond a certain amount. That was defined. So the Committee of Education, if it had processed that.
Were the regulations brought to the House?
No, they weren't. They only, it went to the media to present.
That's what I'm saying. I want the regulations in the House. This House should approve them.
Yes.
As we wait for the report from the committee, can we have the regulations tomorrow?
Thank you. But Right Honorable Speaker, the Committee on Education had better pull up its.
You know, like what Honorable Nambeshe is saying, we have the law to that effect. That law can only be, we can only use the regulations for us to activate that law. So that's why we need to operationalize the law. And that's why we need the regulations. Now, the whip of the committees. So we'll wait for the report of the committee on the school fees, but that does not stop us from asking for the regulations. We need the regulations tomorrow. That's one. We need a report from local government and works, government chief whip. We need a report from government, from works and local government on the issue of the 1 billion. The guidelines with local government. We need a report on school fees, on fuel, on the issue of the fuel. And those are the things that should appear on the order paper tomorrow. The regulations on school fees, the issue of the fuel, the report from works and local government. Yes. Yes. Honorable members, you're all on communication. Yes. Honorable Kivya, Morris.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, as we have guided that the whip brings the regulations from local government about it.
He whips the ministers.
He whips the minister for local government. Right Honorable, in the same spirit last week, when the Deputy Speaker was there, the whip and the head of cabinet somewhere promised that on Tuesday, which was yesterday, those regulations were going to be tabled. Because right on
which regulations?
From local government about the 1 billion. They were supposed to have tabled yesterday because it was raised last week. For us in Kamuli, when the clerk sent the
resolution.
The resolutions. When we went to Kamuli, they said they cannot act on those ones. They want what was to come from the minister. So we are wondering what is going to happen. So maybe the whip will answer. Secondly, Right Honorable, on the issue of the fuel. Right Honorable, last season when we were here, you remember the Minister of Finance left very fast and said he had appropriated the 4 billion, 2 billion for last season and 2 billion for this season about the seeds. Now, the season has ended, fuel is going high, peasants down there have nothing to do, but the Minister for Finance has equally not given us the seeds for this season, yet he accepted that the 4 billion had been earmarked to 2 billion last season and 2 billion in this season. So could we know where the seeds for this season are, Right Honorable? Thank you.
Yes, Doctor.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I wanted to add on information about school fees. Last time we talked about only secondary schools, but there are tertiary institutions, and I want to give an example of Mbale College of Health Sciences, where they admit students for clinical courses, and the admission is clearly indicating admission on government sponsorship. But the fees range, I think, up to 2.5 million, which 2.8 I hear, but they are saying it must be paid before you report. Even to pick an admission letter, you must also pay. The student I have here as an example had to pay 600,000 to pick the admission. And other requirements are too much, including brooms, you bring a jig, you bring soap, and you wonder what the money is going to be used for. It is too much, Right Honorable Speaker. These institutions all over the country, especially in health, even in nursing schools, students are admitted on government sponsorship, but they pay a lot of fees.
Honorable members, the regulations we need is for school fees, irrespective of nursery, primary, technical, all the schools. Yes. Honorable members, we have a tight.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. The procedural issue that I'm rising on is in regard to your communications and the ruling as the presiding officer that you've done on the 4 issues. Now that you have ruled, would it not be procedural right that we move on and we wait on the submissions by the front bench tomorrow so that these issues can then be discussed? Thank you.
Is very correct. I raised the issues, those were my issues. They were my issues. And I have made an order that please tomorrow come and make a presentation to that effect. Tomorrow we'll not have anything else on the order paper apart from issues of school fees. Let's sort it out tomorrow. Issues of fuel, we want a report on it. Issues of the 1 billion, we want it. I can see local government is there, but she must come and present tomorrow on the issues of local government together with the works. Okay? And the issue of our seeds, now that one. Honorable Minister, we want on a report on the seeds, you and agriculture. I can see we want seeds. Honorable Musasisi tomorrow come and make a presentation with agriculture on how you've funded. We need our seeds. We need our seeds. The community needs the seeds. Next item.
Item 3. Laying of papers. Treaties ratified by the government of Uganda pursuant to Rule 40 of the Rules of Procedure.
Honorable members, yesterday the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Regional Affairs, Honorable Mulimba John, undertook to table the treaties and conventions ratified by Uganda in accordance to Rule 40. Can we now have the Honorable Minister?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. First of all, my apology for arriving late. Madam Speaker, in accordance with the Article 123 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, as amended, and also pursuant to Article 2 of Ratification of Treaties Act, Cabinet of Uganda did approve in the half year the following treaties. Number one is the protocol on human and people's rights on peoples with disabilities in Africa. This was ratified. This was considered and approved for ratification by Cabinet on the 31st July 2023, and accordingly directed the Minister of Foreign Affairs to ratify the protocol and deposit it with African Union. Madam Speaker, in accordance with Section 4 of the Ratification of Treaties Act, and also in accordance with Rule 40, Sub-Rule 1, I hereby lay the said protocol, the protocol on African Charter on Human and People's Rights, on the rights of people with disability on the table. I beg you to lay.
Thank you. I will refer the treaties to the Committee of Foreign Affairs for scrutiny as per Rule 40, Sub-Rule 2. Then present